If you are over 60, please do not scroll past this video. A cardiologist just warned that 5 very ordinary morning habits, things almost every one of us does without even thinking, can quietly put stress on your heart at the exact moment it is most vulnerable. Doctors have a name for this. They call it the danger window. And it happens every single morning in every single house, usually between the moment you wake up and the moment you finish your first cup of coffee. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because I care about you and your family, and because these 5 habits are so small, so normal, that nobody ever thinks to warn you about them. Stay with me till the end, because habit number 4 is the one almost nobody expects. And it has sent more seniors to the emergency room than people realize. And stay for the very end, too, because I'm going to give you a simple 2-minute morning routine that doctors say protects your heart, and you can start using it tomorrow morning. Let's start with something your body does every single night while you sleep, something you have no control over. While you rest, your blood pressure naturally drops, your heart slows down, your whole body goes into a kind of quiet, low gear mode, almost like a car idling in the driveway instead of driving on the highway. Then, the moment you open your eyes and your brain says, "Wake up," your body flips a switch. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline rise quickly. Your blood pressure can jump, your heart rate speeds up. Doctors call this the morning surge, and it is completely natural. It happens to everyone, every day of their life, young or old. But research published in heart journals has shown something important. Heart attacks and strokes happen more often in the first few hours after waking than at any other time of day. Not at night, not in the afternoon. In the morning. This is not a rare finding. It has been studied for decades, and it is one of the reasons cardiologists pay so much attention to what you do in those first 60 minutes after your eyes open. Think of your heart like an old, loyal car engine. After sitting all night in the cold garage, you would never expect that engine to go from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds without warming up first. You would let it idle for a minute. You would ease into the drive. Your heart deserves exactly the same courtesy every single morning, and that is really what this whole video is about. So now let's talk about the 5 habits, one at a time, in plain, simple words, the way I would explain it to my own parents, sitting across the kitchen table. The first habit is jumping out of bed too fast. You wake up, the alarm rings, maybe the phone is buzzing, maybe you remember something you forgot to do yesterday, and before you know it, you're sitting up and standing in one quick motion. Here is what is happening inside your body when you do that. All night, blood has settled a little lower in your body because you were lying flat. When you suddenly stand, gravity pulls blood down toward your legs, and for a few seconds, your brain and your heart do not get enough blood flow. Doctors call this orthostatic hypotension. For a young person, this might just cause a little dizziness, but for someone over 60, especially if you already have high blood pressure, diabetes, or you are on blood pressure medication, this sudden drop combined with the morning surge we just talked about puts real strain on the heart. Some seniors feel dizzy, some feel their vision go gray for a second, some even fall. And falling itself is one of the leading causes of serious injury in seniors, sometimes leading to broken hips or head injuries that change a person's whole life. Picture this. An older man wakes up at 6 in the morning, hears his phone buzzing with a message, and jumps up quickly to check it. Within seconds, the room spins, his knees buckle, and he grabs the dresser just in time. That single moment of dizziness was his body screaming for 30 extra seconds that he did not give it. The fix is so simple it almost feels silly, but it works. When you wake up, do not jump up. Sit on the edge of the bed, plant both feet on the floor, take 3 slow breaths, then stand up slowly. Give your body 30 seconds to catch up with your brain. That 30 seconds could be the difference between a calm morning and an emergency room visit. The second habit is drinking your morning coffee before you drink any water. I know, coffee feels like a warm hug in a cup. Many of us cannot imagine mornings without it, and I am not here to take that joy away from you. But here is what most people do not know. While you sleep for 7 or 8 hours, you are not drinking anything at all. Your body loses water through breathing and sweating all night long. By the time you wake up, you're already a little dehydrated, even if you do not feel thirsty at all. When your blood has less water in it, it becomes thicker, almost like syrup instead of juice. Thicker blood is harder for your heart to pump, and it is more likely to form clots. Now add caffeine on top of that dehydrated, thicker blood, first thing in the morning, and you're asking your heart to work harder while it has less fluid to work with. This does not mean you must give up coffee. Nobody is asking you to do that. And I would never ask you to give up something that brings you comfort. What doctors do recommend is simple. Drink 1 full glass of plain water before your first cup of coffee. It takes 10 seconds, and it gives your blood the fluid it needs before you add the stimulant on top. Keep a glass of water on your nightstand the night before, so it is the very first thing your hand touches in the morning, even before your phone. Now stay with me, because the third habit is one that almost nobody talks about, and it is one of the most overlooked dangers on this list. It is straining during your morning bathroom visit. This sounds embarrassing to bring up, but I am a caring voice here, not a judgmental one, and this is too important to skip out of shyness. When you strain hard, holding your breath and pushing, doctors call this the Valsalva maneuver. What happens in your body during that strain is that pressure inside your chest rises sharply, blood pressure spikes, and then, when you finally release, blood pressure can drop suddenly the other way. This rapid spike and drop puts real stress on the heart and blood vessels, and there are documented cases of heart attacks and strokes happening during or right after straining on the toilet, especially in older adults who already have heart disease or high blood pressure. This is often connected to constipation, which becomes more common as we age, partly because of slower digestion, certain medications, and simply not drinking enough water throughout the day. The solution here is not complicated. Eating enough fiber from fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, drinking enough water throughout the entire day and not just in the morning, and staying physically active all help keep things moving naturally so you never have to strain hard. And if you find yourself straining regularly, please mention it to your doctor. It is a very common, very fixable problem, and your doctor has heard it 1,000 times before from patients just like you. There is no shame in asking, and there are simple, safe solutions available. The fourth habit, the one I promised you at the beginning, is sudden hard physical exertion right after waking up, especially in cold weather. This is extremely well documented, and it is tragically common every single winter across the country. Think about shoveling snow first thing in the morning, or rushing outside in the cold to grab the newspaper in your slippers, or jumping straight into vigorous yard work before your body has warmed up at all. Cold air causes your blood vessels to narrow, which raises blood pressure. Combine that with sudden hard physical effort on top of the natural morning surge we talked about earlier, and you are stacking 3 separate stresses on your heart all at once, right after you woke up, when your body has had the least time to adjust. Emergency rooms across the country see a real and measurable increase in heart attacks during and right after snow shoveling every winter season. This is not folklore. It is a pattern doctors have tracked for years and warn about every single winter. Imagine a woman in her late 60s who has always been active and proud of it, who goes outside at 7 in the morning to clear the driveway before her family wakes up. 10 minutes in, she feels a strange tightness in her chest that she brushes off as just being out of breath. That tightness was her heart asking her to stop and rest, and thankfully, she listened that day. Not everyone does. If you are over 60, please, warm up gently first. Walk around the house for a few minutes before going outside. Stretch your arms and legs the way you might before a walk. If you must do heavy outdoor work in the cold, take it slow, take frequent breaks, ask a younger family member or neighbor for help if possible. And if you feel any tightness in your chest, any unusual shortness of breath, or unusual fatigue, stop immediately and rest. It is never worth pushing through, no matter how much snow is left on the driveway. The fifth habit is skipping breakfast entirely, or eating a very heavy, very salty breakfast right after that first cup of coffee. Some seniors skip breakfast because they are simply not hungry yet. Others rush into a big plate of salty bacon, sausage, or processed breakfast meats, because that is what they have always eaten and always enjoyed. Both extremes can be hard on your heart in the morning. Skipping food, while your blood sugar is already low from the overnight fast, can cause your body to release even more stress hormones to compensate, adding fuel to that morning surge we discussed earlier. On the other hand, a very high sodium breakfast can pull extra water into your bloodstream and raise your blood pressure right when it is already naturally higher than usual. The gentle middle path that most heart doctors recommend is a light, balanced breakfast, something with a little protein and some fiber, oatmeal with fruit, eggs with whole grain toast, a small bowl of yogurt with berries, without piling on the salt or the processed meats. Small, steady, and kind to your heart, rather than nothing at all or too much all at once. Before we move on, I want to add one more piece to this puzzle, because it ties all 5 habits together and it is something doctors talk about constantly, but families rarely hear about. It is the role of stress and worry first thing in the morning. Many seniors wake up and immediately start thinking about bills, about a phone call they need to make, about a family problem, about the news on television. Your heart does not know the difference between a real physical danger and a worry in your mind. When you wake up and immediately flood your brain with stress, your body releases the same stress hormones it would release if you were being chased by something dangerous. Combine that mental stress with the natural morning surge, with dehydration, with rushing to stand up, and you can see how these things stack on top of each other like bricks. This is why many cardiologists now recommend something as simple as lying still for just 1 extra minute after you wake up, before reaching for your phone, before checking the news, before thinking about your to-do list. Just breathe. Let your body ease into the day before your mind starts running. This 1 minute of calm, added to the 30 seconds of sitting on the edge of the bed we talked about earlier, gives your heart almost 2 full minutes of gentle transition instead of a sudden shock. I also want to mention something that ties directly back to habit number 1, and that is the importance of your sleeping environment itself. If your bedroom is very cold when you wake up, your blood vessels are already narrower than they would be in a warm room, which means your blood pressure is already a little higher before you even sit up. Keeping your bedroom at a comfortable, moderate temperature and perhaps keeping a warm robe or sweater within reach for those first few minutes can make that transition even gentler on your heart, especially during the colder months of the year. Now here's the part I really want you to hear, and I want you to really sit with this for a moment. None of these 5 habits are things you did on purpose. Nobody taught you that jumping out of bed fast was risky. Nobody explained that coffee before water matters. Nobody told you that shoveling snow in the cold without warming up first was one of the most studied risk moments in all of cardiology. But this is not about blame, and it is certainly not about making you feel guilty for how you have lived your mornings for the past 60 or 70 years. This is about knowledge that most people simply never received. And now, today, you have it, and that knowledge is a gift you can use starting tomorrow morning. I also want to gently remind you what warning signs to watch for, because knowing them can genuinely save a life. Maybe your own, maybe someone you love sitting right next to you on the couch. Chest pain or pressure that feels like squeezing, or heaviness, almost like something sitting on your chest. Pain that spreads to the arm, especially the left arm, the jaw, the neck, or the back. Sudden shortness of breath, even without any chest pain at all. Breaking out in a cold sweat for no clear reason. Nausea or lightheadedness that comes on suddenly and does not pass. In women, these signs can be more subtle, sometimes showing up as unusual fatigue, a strange feeling of unease, or indigestion rather than sharp, obvious pain. If you or someone near you experiences any of these signs, please do not wait to see if it passes on its own. Call emergency services right away. Do not drive yourself to the hospital. Every single minute matters when it comes to the heart, and paramedics can begin treatment the moment they arrive. Here is your simple morning checklist, the same one I would give my own parents if they were sitting here with me right now. When you wake up, sit on the edge of the bed for 30 seconds before standing, and let your body catch up with your mind. Drink a full glass of water before your coffee every single morning, without exception. Avoid straining in the bathroom, and talk to your doctor honestly if constipation is a regular problem for you. Warm up gently before any hard physical work, especially in cold weather, and stop immediately if you feel chest tightness, unusual breathlessness, or unusual fatigue. Eat a light, balanced breakfast instead of skipping meals entirely or loading up on salt and processed meats. And take your morning medications exactly as your doctor prescribed, at the times they recommended, since many blood pressure medications are specifically timed to help protect you during this vulnerable morning window we have been talking about this whole video. None of this requires you to change your whole life overnight. It requires 5 small adjustments to a routine you already have every single day. That is the whole point of this video. Small, gentle, doable changes, done consistently over weeks and months, protect the heart far better than any dramatic overnight transformation ever could, and far better than any fad or shortcut you might see promised elsewhere online. Your heart has carried you through 60, 70, 80 years of mornings already, through good days and hard days, through celebrations and losses. It has earned a little extra care and a little extra patience from you in return, starting with something as small as 30 seconds on the edge of your bed tomorrow morning. If this video helped you understand something new about your own body today, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this information reach other families and other seniors who need to hear it too, people who may not have found this video otherwise. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss the next video. Because next time we are going to talk about something just as important. The quiet evening habit that many cardiologists say is just as risky as any morning habit on this list, and almost nobody is talking about it yet. And before you go, I want you to do one small thing for me right now. Type in the comments below. I will check my morning routine starting tomorrow.